Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are brand new, hello, my name is Natasha and I am the crafty gal behind this account. I'm here on YouTube as well as on Instagram, and I am sharing all about how you can use one kit in 5 different ways. This is the final series, or the final video in this mini series. If you're interested in checking out the other 4 videos on how I use this one kit, be sure to check out. I'll have a little card here at the top, and then at the very end I will have a link to the playlist that has all of the process videos in this mini series. So today my video that I'll be sharing with you all is my process in creating this cute little mini album using the pages from the Traveler's Notebook in the Cocoa Daisy Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit. So this comes with both pattern papers, grid, and lined papers as well, and I am folding them in half, as you can see here, and adhering them back to back to create this little booklet. Now, this booklet is a fantastic way to use photos that you've maybe printed out and didn't make your memory planner or a project life layout, but you still have them hanging around. So I'm calling this little mini album my daily joys. So I'm just including here some photos of things that bring me joy, and it's a really fun way to use up the photos, use up your product, and create this little mini album. Now I have my papers adhered to each other back to back to create that fold out, or I guess accordion. Now I am using one of the pattern papers that comes with the Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit, which is going to be a more like a cardstock, and I'm going to use that as a little cover to give my notebook some structure and to have it be a little bit more sturdy. Here I am trimming down, as I was not exact with my placement on the adhesive, so no big deal, I'm just trimming off the edges. Now with the skeleton frame of the mini album all ready to go, I'm going to work on finding out where I would like to place my photos. Now I'm not being too picky about this. I do know for this one pattern paper there with the, I'm calling it the Tiki Hut print, I knew that I would want to use a bigger photo to be able to cover up the Cocoa Daisy logo in the back. With a general idea of where I want my photos, I am going to begin in adding clusters and layers, as almost creating mini layouts on each one of these pages. Now I know that this is almost like a double page layout, so I do want some of the colors and patterns to travel between both of the photos, especially as these don't really have anything to do with each other. One's a scrapbooking layout of a memory planner, the other one is me in the pool on a floaty. So they don't really have much to do with each other except that they bring me joy. So I'm gonna work on pulling these colors on both sides so that way they are all pulled together. Now you'll see that I am going to use the stamp set from this kit to pull in all of the different pages here towards the middle of this process video. So even though each one of the layouts has their own little personality, they are going to have these common themes or design elements throughout each one of these mini layouts. I am now busting out this all-star stamp set, which I'm going to be using archival ink. Now I am using archival ink because I am stamping both on paper and the slick surface of the photo and the washi tape, And if you are new to stamping, I definitely recommend getting yourself a little bit of archival ink. It is a bit trickier stamping on a slick surface, but with practice you'll get there. My stamping is never super perfect. You'll see that there is some smudging later on, but as I've said in numerous videos, I'm going for the overall look. I'm not going for perfection, and for me, so much of creating is about the process, even when things don't work out the way that I originally thought. So it's still just a ton of fun to play with pretty paper and use up those supplies, and also enjoy looking back at some of these photos that were printed a while ago, and it's fun to put them to use in a little mini album like this. Now, if you're joining for the first time here on my channel, this video is part of a little mini series about how you can use one kit in 5 different ways. I think that we often get caught up in using or purchasing all of the things. I know that I have definitely been guilty of that too, but I hope that this video, along with the 4 other videos in this series, will show you how you can really make a kit really stretch for all of your different memory keeping and paper craft needs. I am moving on to the final mini layout of this sunset photo of the palm trees in my neighborhood, along with a funny photo of my mom and I. I have this punched paper that's a scrap, and I had used the punch for another project, but I thought it was really fun to add the chipboard piece in there and just make it visually a point of interest for this layout. I won't lie, I definitely had a tough time putting this one together. I was a lot more indecisive than I usually am. I'm usually kind of a plonk it down type of paper crafter. I do some pre-planning before I hit record, otherwise I would have very long videos, and I have found that I definitely enjoy giving myself some bit of structure for most of my projects. Now for me, really what that looks like is having my photos ready to go and pulling out specific products that I want to use. I've noticed when I don't really narrow it in a little bit, I start getting really overwhelmed with everything in my stash and on my desk. With this being said, I definitely recommend giving it a go, seeing if you like, giving yourself some guidelines on supplies and photos that you're going to use on your next memory keeping project. Perhaps you'll hate it, perhaps you'll love it, but it's definitely worth a try. For this layout, I am doing quite a bit of repeat stamping. Now, I am only inking parts of this stamp in certain areas, like the impression that I just did right now. Others, I did want to mention that I am thinking about the direction of these little arrows when I am doing my stamping. So I want some pointing left and some pointing right, and this is creating some movement and for your eye to travel across the 2 different layouts. With going through some of my final scraps that I have from the Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit, I wanted to pull colors from the same color palette on both sides of this layout. So I have this coral color with the plus sign pattern that I'm putting down now, which I also use to map my photo of the sunset. And also I've got the same pattern that is used in that scrap of the circular punch. I'm going to use that as a mat for the photo of my mom and I. For these 2 layouts, I am playing with a vertical element of the 2 scraps of paper that I am applying onto this bold palm pattern. Now I'm using that as a base to ground my photos and building a cluster on top of this. So that makes help your photos not look like they're floating in a patterned paper, that they're grounded in something. Now I am using a repeated vertical pattern so that your eye is having a similar pattern between both layouts. Additionally, too, I am using the same method of off-centering my mat when I am placing the photo down onto that vertical strip of paper. Now, you can totally do the mat around the paper evenly, or you can off-center it. I think it's a really fun, whimsical vibe with it being off-centered, especially when it's paired with different paper elements like I have here. I have brought back my favorite pattern from this month's stamp set. I rave about it all in my last video as well. These two, I almost think this is like flowers growing from the earth. I don't know, that's what it makes me think of. Along with the arrows are my two favorite that were in this month's kit. Now, what I have here on the right hand side that you will see me flipping through the pages and adding into each one of the pages is the subscriber download for Cocoa Daisy. So if you subscribe to any of their kits, you can access this free download. It does come with a cut file, so if you have a silhouette or a cricket, it's perfect because you've got the file needed to be able to print it out. I typically do it on white matte sticker paper, and I just print it at home. I have a Canon inkjet printer, which does, pretty well, I would say, and I put it through my silhouette, and then I have a coordinating set of stickers to use in both my planner and my memory keeping projects. I think it's definitely one of the best perks of being a subscriber, because you could print that as many times really as you wanted. Next up, I am going to be using the rub-ons that come in the Traveler's Notebook memory keeping kit. I am going to lose some footage here. My phone ended up running out of storage, but not to worry. I do have some finished photos of each one of the layouts, so you can see all of the different last minute details I ended up adding to each one of these pages. I think that this is such a fun way to use up your scraps towards the end of a kit. This would make a fantastic gift, especially with Mother's Day coming up, for a family member, or even for yourself. This is such a great way to look at those things that bring you joy. Even on those tough days, you can reflect and have that gratitude for all of those blessings in your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, be sure to check out the playlist to the other videos in this mini series. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps my channel, especially as I am new here to YouTube. If you are over on Instagram, I would love to see you there. I do share more regularly over on Instagram. So if you like to see little snippets of what I'm working on, you can find me over on Instagram at Crafting Extreme Love. I will have the link in the description box below, as well as a link to the Cocoa Daisy website, where if you are interested, you can sign up for the Traveler's Notebook memory keeping kit that I've used throughout this mini series. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you have some time to make something crafty today.